It's Saturday, June 18th here at the West End Gun Club. It's just before 5:30. I came out here early this morning because there is actually an event on the rimfire range. I think the youth groups are shooting on this Saturday, and according to the calendar, they start around 9. So maybe people will get here around 8:30 to prep the range for their event. But I need to test my Vudoo because if you follow my social media, I had swapped out the springs or the spring for the mag catch for a longer one, and I think it fixed the problem, but I want to test it on live fire. And I also added the MPA barricade mag blocker for the Matrix Pro chassis, so I wanted to just test that out this morning, and so that's why I'm out here. It's a nice cool morning. It has been very, very hot in Southern California in the past several days, like high 90s, well, mid 90s. Granted, it gets hotter, but considering, just so used to the winter and spring weather, once it hits 90-degree weather, low 90s, mid 90s, it's a huge difference from 80s. And it's supposed to be cool this weekend, but then, in the middle of June, it's forecasted to hit 100 degrees next weekend. And so we are definitely in the swing of summer. Anyway, let's go ahead and get set up because I want to get done before they arrive because, if there's an event on a part of the range facility, you're not supposed to be using it, right? I can't shoot here while the youth shooters are here because it's their event. It's for them. We're not supposed to be occupying the range. Just like if they have the other small bays, right? If they're having a match, you can't use the small bays because they have their stages set up there. So let's go ahead and I just need to set up I'm going to set up 2 steel targets maybe just to have some different angles to shoot from, and I'll probably bring out 1 or 2 barricades. We'll keep it light, and I didn't bring much with me. I just brought my rifle, a couple of my bags, and just my hard case with my tools in it if I need to fix something. But let's get set up. As I stated earlier, I wanted to test out the Matrix Pro chassis after I made a modification. I swapped out the spring on the mag catch to a longer spring that I ordered from the same supplier that MPA gets their springs from for this specific application. I don't recall what they said. I remember the spec was somewhere around like a 0.43 inch long spring, and I measured the spring that came out of it and it was less than 0.4. And I ordered a few springs actually that are of various lengths, but the one that I put in here is a 0.563 inch long at rest. And I lied when I stated that the spring rate is the same as the shorter one. It's not. It's slightly different, plus it's a little bit less because of the material. There's like 3 different metal types that they use for these springs, at least this supplier. It's called music wire, which is the most, I guess, the one with the most spring rate. Then they have stainless steel, then they have 3/16 stainless. In my head, I said, oh, let's go 3/16 stainless because it won't rust or whatever. They use music wire. The spring that MPA is music wire. So I end up using a 3/16 stainless, which has less spring rate than the equivalent the equivalent length of a different metal. So I should have probably used the music wire because I did get the music wire in the 0.56 whatever spring length, and it would have been a little bit more on the spring rate, and so it would have more, pressure. And right now it's actually pretty good. It's not as springy as my MPA B8 comps mag catches, but this one is pretty good. So we'll do some testing today and see how it runs, and if it isn't up to par, then I can just quickly hit the dowel, or punch the pin out, put the other spring in, and be on my way. And but just to show you, I got my empty mags here, or one of my empty mags.
Sorry, let me, too many wires on my body here.
All right, here we go. If you recall how much play there was on the mag, and right now there is the side-to-side movement, which, you know, it happens even my BA comp, but the front to back movement is pretty much eliminated, and there's no slop there. The mag catch, it doesn't respond much to my pressure here, and it locks in fairly securely. And if you look at the front to back, it doesn't slop. I really have to press backwards here to get it to move. But this is pretty good as far as I'm concerned. I like the feel of it, so we'll see how that runs and see how it feeds. I could have at home ran rounds through it. You know, I probably should have, but I don't know. It's not fun to run live rounds through your chamber constantly at home or whatever. You know, just, you never know, right? Stuff happens, but we do it all the time in respect. Whenever I chamber up around on my CCW guns, you know, you can do that. Hopefully you never have a slam fire or something, but I mean, you can't have a striker fired, assuming the safeties are working correctly, but I don't want to digress. Anyway, so we did that, and I'm going to test, mainly I'm here to test that, and plus I added this, they call this the mag block, I guess, magazine blocker on the MPA Matrix Pro, and if you look, I'm going to try to angle the gun for you, you have this aluminum piece here. So there's 4 screws that go in here to secure this, and you can have different types of attachments. They have a barricade stop, and this can function as a barricade stop, but the goal for this piece is, if you notice, it covers the magazine, so if you were to jam your rifle against a bag or a barricade, it won't hit the mag and won't cause the misfeed, which is, for rimfire, it's huge. This will, you know, any magazine pressure can cause issues for a 1700 pattern rimfire action. Now with centerfire, not so much. I've never had problems. Granted, I don't shoot centerfire very often in PRS or NRL style events, so I can't tell you if this is, you know, this will help centerfire as much. But for rimfire, I think it's going to be a huge mitigator for misfeeds. But anyway, let's go ahead and run some rounds. I loaded some mags. That was weird. I think there's a squirrel back there. Or it could be the mice. Actually, we do still have the mice in there. I checked this morning. I checked this morning, and there were fresh, or at least droppings in places that I know I cleaned 100%. So I did email the range staff this past week. They're going to try to take a look at it, and I'm going to check in with them to see if they've been able to, if they're going to have a plan on how to seal it up so that whatever mice, however they're getting in, we can prevent them from getting in. Because this is not a good thing to have this go on for a long term, because who wants mice droppings around and when you're working in that kind of environment. Anyway, enough's enough. Let's get going. It's already 6 o'clock. I want to just do my testing before this range is occupied for that other event. Oh, missed that one. Cool. So currently, side-to-side lateral movement doesn't affect the mag too much. It can still feed, although there is difficulty there. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I'm in frame or not. But the scope is blocking me. Whatever. Back to front does not affect it. Now, front to back, if you're jamming, it basically tilts the mag down, and the bolt will ride over the top of the round, so it won't pick it up. So, that being said, even up pressure on the mag doesn't cause a misfeed, which actually was a problem with my BA comp before. It wouldn't close. So, I actually like this, to be honest. This behavior where pressure on the magazine, the weight on the magazine doesn't cause it to not feed. The front to back, that tilt, that's actually pretty good. Even though it won't feed, at least it won't munge up the round. So I could probably try to play with the mag catch adjustment right now, but I want to leave it as is, and we'll see how it goes. But I like the behavior right now of this gun. The mag blocker will prevent this from ever happening where it's pushing forward, so we're good there. And but yeah, I'm liking the fact that I changed out the spring. So if you're getting an MPA Matrix Pro and you're gonna run it, at least with a Vudoo, and you're gonna have some issues with the mag catch, let me know, reach out to me, and I'll tell you, or maybe I'll even just post the spring that I'm using right now on the video description. But reach out to me if you ever have problems with your mag catch and the Vudoo. But I think my problems right now are solved. So very happy with this. Granted, those springs, I'll admit, it was $7 for a little spring. And based on the pricing with that vendor, it's because you ordered a small volume. If you order like 100 springs, I think it drops significantly down to like less than $1 a spring. But I'm not gonna buy, $100 worth of springs. So that's just the unfortunate aspect from ordering that kind of vendor. I'm gonna try to see if McMaster Car has the same types of springs, or if I can find a different vendor. Oh, this is a squirrel. If I can find a different vendor that has the same springs, or same types of springs. Anyway, happy with this, and yeah, I'll do a little bit more shooting. It's only 6:15, and then we can do a little bit more shooting, and I'll clean up and get out of here so that we can leave the range for the youth shooters so they can do their thing. One thing I figure I should also test are these Billet aluminum mags. These are the Vudoo mags. I don't really use them on my BA comp. They work. They sit a little higher based on how that little hump on the mag body and that distance to the top, it sits a little taller than polymer mags. And so it does feed, or it fits in differently, at least on the BA comps. They still feed though. But I was just looking at it earlier, and it seems like I'm not sure if they don't rock as much as the polymers, but we'll just go ahead and do a quick feed test. So I'm gonna jam up on the mag, and they close. I'm putting full weight of the rifle there, and it closes smoothly. So that closes smoothly, which is good. I'm gonna put front to back pressure. Wow, and that actually loads. let me kind of jam that mag there. Yeah, it feeds. Side to side movement, closes. Side to side pressure rather. I'm gonna tug this way, cam the mag, and it closes fine. So it seems like the polymer mag actually seems to function better, at least for this specific setup. So maybe I might start using my polymer mags. I only have two 10-rounders and one 5. Huh, that is cool. I am now appreciating this polymer mag. Because I didn't really care for them before because I just felt like they're cool. They're really nice. They're very well made, but you know, they're 3 times as much as a polymer mag, so why not just buy 3 polymer mags for the same price? But if it feeds better, if it functions better, and this as far as external forces, and it doesn't cause misfeeds on this gun, maybe I'll switch to the polymers or start using polymers more often. But let me try my other one. Where'd I put it? Oh, it's over here. No, yeah, that's it. It looks like we're running really good right now. Seems like she's running well. The magazine catch is no longer an issue. That slop is gone. The mags seem to function great. The polymer mags, or sorry, the billet mags, billet aluminum mags actually function better than the polymer mags in terms of external force, in terms of how that may affect the feeds, and it does not. So maybe I'll get a couple more polymer mags. I don't know. They're $100 a piece, I think, but I don't know. We'll see. I got 2 10-rounders. Maybe they'll tide me over. But they are nice. I'll admit they're nice. But I'd rather just have 3 polymer mags versus 1 billet aluminum when it comes down to it in terms of convenience. So she's running smooth, liking it. And if I feel like I need more tension or spring back on that mag lever, I can switch the same spring length that I have in this, like 0.563, but with the different metal. Go with the music wire carbon steel as opposed to the stainless steel 3/16. The music wire is carbon steel, so it's not very corrosion resistant, but that's what MPA uses anyway by default. And plus it's a spring, right? If water gets in there and it corrodes, or salt water, sea air, you can just swap it out, right? It's not a big deal. But anyway, I have that option if I need more spring back tension. One thing I failed to mention earlier in the video is that I did add the external weights from Gray Ops CNC. You can see here on the front forend, I did add 2 on the farthest or the furthest point. I didn't bother to put the 2 here, even though I have them, because the balance point, I want it to be right here, and I don't see the point of adding more weight on top of that point. You kind of want it farther out so you act as a fulcrum, right? Or, you know, the fulcrum point, like a seesaw. Anyway, it's balanced right where I have the Arca clamp on the tripod. And I would like it a little bit further out, but I think it's a hard ask right now. With a 20-inch, it's just not gonna happen, right? 22 MTU. If and when I get my Vudoo 360, I'll get a 22-inch MTU barrel, and that should help out with the balance a lot more with this 20-inch. I know some people run muzzle attachments like a tuner. And frankly, I just don't want to run a tuner on this gun if I don't have, I just really don't feel like running tuners. I did get one, it's on my CZ, and I'm not really having much luck with it. But then again, I think that barrel is not very good anymore for some reason. I think the CZ barrel is just falling off. So maybe that's why I'm not having luck with that tuner. Either way, I just feel like the tuner is just too much. It's just more stuff to mess with than you really need to. And I know a lot of people are fans of them. And I get it if it works for you, but I just would rather not have to mess with a tuner. She is pretty thick right now. As far as weight, I off the top of my head, I recall I think this gun weighs 20.2 pounds, 20.4. I wrote it down. It's at home on a piece of paper with a bunch of weights. I was gonna, whenever I write the review on this chassis, I'm gonna list my weight for this gun. So I know for a fact it's about 1.5 pounds at least heavier than my MPA BA comp setup when I had it all, when I last took this barreled action out of it. Weighed about 18.6, 18.8. So it's gained some weight. But right now I'm liking the feel of this Pro chassis, the thicker forend, can be more stable in the bags. I do like the feel of the buttstock and the grip. I mean, it does have a good feel to it. Is it worth the upgrade from a VA comp right now? I'm not going to tell you it is. But this barricade stop here, or this mag blocker, this feature here is a plus. But then again, you can send your MPA BA comp to MPA and they can modify it. They'll just add the necessary screw holes, drill and tap, and then it'll use these accessories. So that's an option for you. And I might actually do that now that my MPA BA comp right now is sitting unused. I may as well just go ahead and send it in and maybe ask them to re-Cerakote it, because it is really beat up on the Arca rail because it's got a lot of chips after getting hit against barricades for the past couple of years. So maybe I'll send it in. So right now, I can't tell you that's worth the upgrade. If you have a BA comp and you're happy with it, I'd say just settle down and just stay with it right now. If you're interested in Matrix Pro, see if you can find somebody who's got one and then try theirs out and see how it feels for you. But right now, I can't say it's a hard, hey, you got to upgrade. Me, I just bought it because I just need stuff to tinker with, so that's why I decided to get it. And plus, I am thinking about building another rifle. So if I am, then I have a chassis, my BA comp or this. I have another chassis ready that's ready and waiting for barreled action. Anyway, let's go ahead and get cleaned up. It's still 15 before 7, but I've got everything done that I needed to get done, and I want to clear out before all the youth group comes in here, so they have the range to themselves. I will do a little cleanup though. There is some brass out here, so I'll sweep that up, and then we'll be done. Anyway, that's it for today. Saturday, June 18th. Next weekend, next Sunday is our match. So if you want to shoot NRL 22, definitely come out. We do have a bunch of registrants already, but we have no effective cap. We'll try to keep it at 30 though, but we haven't had 30 in a long time. But if we have around 30, I think that's when I'll close it. But right now, no effective. If there are a lot of people show up, we'll figure it out and how to get people integrated into squads. But we'll work through it. But definitely come out if you're interested. And we are giving away an Oryx chassis. No, sorry. We're not giving away. We are giving away a certificate for a 50% off code or whatever for an Oryx chassis. So it's we got 2 of them for Oryx. Thank you to Oryx for reaching out. It's part of a sponsorship program that they're spinning up for match directors. So I said, yeah, go ahead and I'm willing to do it. So they sent me 2. I'm going to give out one for this, since this is the first match of the NRL 2022-2023 season. I figure this is a good time to give one out, and I'll figure out when we'll do a giveaway for the next one. But it's a random draw. You don't have to be top open, top base, or win or whatever. Win the match. It's just we'll have random draw as long as you shoot all stages of the match. At the end, when we do debrief, then we'll just pull a ticket or whatever, and whoever name is on that ticket, you'll get the 50% off certificate. So anyway, come out if you're interested. Anyway, again, Saturday, June 18th, from the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching. See you in the next vlog.